Ready? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call this meeting to order. All right. Today is a special called meeting of the Commissioners Court. And today is Wednesday, November the 16th, 2022. It's 1 p.m. We're in the Ralph H. Walton Jr. Justice Center, the Century Jury Room at 1200 West Pearl Street in Granbury, Texas. The first item on this agenda here today is to discuss and take appropriate action to rescind the Commissioners Court order of August the 23rd, 2022, which set salaries as of October the 1st of 2022. Ms. Kidd, I think that there was one mistake on the previous salary sheet that was admitted, and y'all all agreed that it was a mistake?
Well, the new hire salaries are all set at $60,000, and I felt like that wouldn't work with you raising salaries anyway. If you get a qualified person, I wanted more salary to be there. So there's 3 at $60,000, 2 at $62,400, and 1 at $67,200. So there's room if you get someone with experience. So
Okay.
That's one change. I changed the investigator salary from $60,000 because the starting salary should be $65,000. I changed that, and there was a cert pay that needed changed. Those were minor changes.
Okay, so you're saying that there is a need to go ahead and rescind the August 23rd, 2022 order?
Yes, sir, because that set salaries, so you have to
Yeah.
rescind that in order to approve these new
Okay.
salaries.
Does any commissioner wish to ask any question or make a statement or clarify anything or say anything, or do y'all all agree with what Ms. Kidd has stated?
Well, I think right now we're just going to rescind the order.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we're on. That's the item we're on, to rescind, only that. So do I hear a motion?
Y'all make a motion to rescind the Commissioner Court order of August 23rd, 2022, that sets salaries as of October 1, 2022. Second.
Okay, a motion been made by Commissioner Andrews to rescind the Commissioners Court order of August the 23rd, 2022, which set salaries as of October the 1st, 2022, second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion or comment? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Okay, the next item is discuss and take appropriate action regarding possible corrections to the salary spreadsheet for the Sheriff's Office approved in Commissioners Court on November the 8th, 2022.
And I
Ms. Kidd?
jumped the gun and went through that on item 2.
Yeah, that's,
Well, and I just want to confirm that this spreadsheet, which we discussed last week, also coincides with the pay schedule that you approved last week on November the 8th. I'm assuming everyone has looked at it and is
And they have
aware
a new
of what's on,
matrix.
okay, on this spreadsheet, and you've received the new matrix moving forward?
You have, it's in your packet. You have the new matrix for the Sheriff's
And
Department.
spreadsheet.
And spreadsheet.
With proper salaries, and everybody agrees those are right,
Yes, sir.
and we've seen the matrix.
this is one you just handed us, Ms.
Yes, sir.
Kidd, right?
Yes, sir.
So is this corrections to the November 8th?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Okay, so I guess the proper action is to, what we want to say, to rescind and admit this new salary matrix here.
You rescinded on 2, so you're good there. Now you're going to approve the salary spreadsheet that has been given to all of you, and we've worked with the Sheriff's Department. Where's Kim?
So this is Roman numeral 3 we're talking about. I mean, this is it.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is what we're going to vote on right now.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to date it down here as to put, well, let's hear a motion first.
I had a question. We had discussed the occasion when you'll have somebody at a higher level leave and that salary to change at that time. If you've got somebody that's a sergeant that's been here 10 years and they leave and you promote somebody within, you know, at a sergeant first level, there's a significant difference in that salary there. And then also, and I talked to Commissioner Cotton about this a little bit the other day, and I don't know if we ever figured anything out on that. But what happens if, you know, if right now the way these salaries are set, if we got a 10-year deputy in, we don't have a position for a 10-year deputy on it.
Well, you've got one for 67,200. I think that's year 7, I think, or 8 or 10. I can't remember.
67,200.
But are we going back with setting people rigidly to what positions are open, what pay scale is open? Because that's kind of what got us into a big mess to begin with. So is there some way to address that? To have some flexibility? Like I said, if somebody leaves at the 10-year sergeant and you're putting a first-year sergeant on, you don't pay that first-year sergeant at a 10-year rate.
Well, you wouldn't.
So
You wouldn't do that.
Well, first of all, I question if you can even discuss this. It's not part of the agenda. The agenda is only to approve the possible corrections in the salary spreadsheet that we got on the 8th, and that's what we're doing.
Well-
I don't see anything about,
So we actually had 3 employees that needed corrections on the spreadsheet that was presented,
today,
yes.
and it's still not right?
Well, it's still right now, it's correct now, but the original one that was approved,
Right?
there's 3 that needed corrections.
Right.
So that's what's being presented today,
Yes.
that's it.
That's it.
What you have is correct.
That's all this agenda calls for.
Right, but if
Doesn't
we-
it call for future appointments or assignments? It doesn't call for that in this agenda.
But if we, I mean, I don't think that this thing is static at this point, so if we needed to create a position to do that, or to adjust something on this chart right now to be able to accommodate that.
Not one but it's not part of the agenda.
But it is, because it would be, this position right here pays this much instead of what's written here on the sheet. That's what I'm saying, that absolutely strikes me as fitting under this agenda item. Because this is an issue, and this is a lot of what got us into this position to begin with.
Well, let me ask you this. The auditor, HR, the treasurer, the sheriff's department, are all of y'all in agreement with this spreadsheet right here, right now, as far as the salaries are concerned?
Yes, we're all in agreement. What the commissioner is trying to say is, in years past, when we lost a 10-year sergeant, replaced it with a first-year sergeant, that there's some money left over in there. And once we didn't use it, it was lost forever. It went back to the general fund. So I think what he is saying is, what's in the budget now, stay in the budget till the end of the year, then it's, goes back in the general fund and get the new budget set after that. So he's just saying, don't lose the money if we can use it someplace else. And like Commissioner Cotton said, maybe that can't be voted on, but that's what he's saying, just if we
I
replace
have
it
no
with.
problem with dealing with that issue. I just don't see it in this agenda item.
Well, like I said, if we needed to make one of these positions 69,000 or whatever.
Well, this is something that can be brought up on the 29th.
Okay, I think I can solve this.
Yes.
First of all, you did not reset, you're not going to reset salaries after this. Let's not go down that road again, okay? We're not going to say salaries are set today. So I've got some playroom in with these salaries, and I'll work with the sheriff's department. If you get that person, I'll bring one down to 60 and bring that one up to whatever they need. And we've done that in the past. That's worked fine.
Okay, yeah, I just don't want to go back to the point where
No.
we're hiring.
And if it gets to the point where you have,
misplaced on the
yes, sir,
chart.
if you get to the point where you have so many qualified applicants that we need to come back and revisit it, we'll do it then.
Okay.
But right now, I've got a workable budget and there's room for growth, period.
Okay, all right, I'm good with that.
Okay. I hear a motion.
You can have that.
Yes, I move that we approve the corrections to the spreadsheet that was voted on November 8th to the current spreadsheet that was provided today with the change for the 3 individuals that had to be corrected.
Second.
Okay. With that motion that we've got a corrected spreadsheet, I have written on this spreadsheet that was just handed to me, approved on November the 16th, 2022 by Commissioners Court to sign it, Judge Ron Massengill. So all that are in favor of approving,
Excuse me, I just
The
want to
motion?
confirm that we're good with this beginning with the November 21st payroll.
right,
Okay.
Yes.
that hadn't changed.
Okay.
We voted on that, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Ms. Lang, I would like for you to attach, there you go, Sheriff.
I gave her a copy. You've got a copy, Katie.
Well, I want this one says approved by me.
Got your handwriting on it.
With my handwriting on it, so, there you go. Now we got that. Okay. Item number 4, discuss and take appropriate action regarding the payout of accumulated comp time for Hood County. Ms. Kidd.
You've all been given a spreadsheet regarding that. We can use Fund 83 for the 2-year COVID period, which is calendar year 20 and 21. So the spreadsheet takes just that 2-year period and pays out everyone that has time at the end of that 2-year period. If there's additional time after the 2-year period, it's paid out of Fund 101, which has been a reimbursement fund from the CARES Act, and that money is sitting there and we can utilize it for this. You all have a copy of the spreadsheet. Treasurer and personnel have reviewed this, and the only exception needs to be that all comp time will be paid out. You have one over 20 hours, and there is a note on the bottom of this about an employee who I won't name. She did not want to get paid out, but if you do that, you're going to have to deal with that on every one of them, so just pay them all out.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. So I look at that. So you're in favor, and this is the comp time payoff consisting of 2 pages
Yes, sir?
where the total comp time payoff amount is $251,340.85, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, out of the 2 different funds, Fund 83 and Fund 101, right? Just like you described.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Wilburn,
Yes, sir.
Human Resources, satisfied with the comp time
Yes.
and the sheet? Ms. Treasurer,
With the exception of the one employee, we just need to put that in.
y'all put back in so we've paid everybody off.
Right.
That's correct, and that
If she
would
doesn't want the
be,
money, she can donate it back to the county.
And also, when you make
20 and above, 20 hours and above.
20 hours and above, and when you make this motion, also ask the auditor to do the appropriate line item transfer to accommodate this.
Okay,
Line item transfers.
okay. Sheriff's Department, satisfied with the comp time payoff? I see all these heads shaking, and there's a slide here all the time. So now, is there any questions or comments from any of the commissioners? If not, do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to pay off the accumulated comp time as reported on the 2 sheets given by the auditor, and to
Allow the auditor to
allow
make
the
necessary
auditor to
line item
do
transfers.
Line item transfers to get those out of accounts 83 and 101.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
along with the exception of the 178.14 hours that's not reflected on your sheet.
It is.
It's zeroed out. Yeah, that one employee. That will be added to the total, and this is effective with comp hours dated November the 10th.
What she said.
Okay, I will add that to the motion. November the 10th, with the one exception that's noted on the sheet.
okay, motion made by Commissioner Cotton, second by Commissioner Wilson. Did you have all of that down, Ms. Lang,
Yes, sir.
with all the addition
Yes.
addendums? Is that
I'll
right, ma'am?
have it, yeah.
You do? Okay.
It's being recorded.
All right, good. Any further discussion or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. And Sheriff, would you hand this to, again, on this comp time payoff, I have put down approved by Commissioners Court November 16, 2022, and I have signed.
Did you note the other 178 hours that we had amended?
No, I didn't.
How was it, how many hours was that we,
How many hours was
I'm
that?
sorry?
178 hours?
178.14.
178.14.
And all 20 and above.
8.414 hours added. What's the total cost?
Go ahead, Vicki.
Do you have it? Well, if you can't do math that quick on the wheel, come on. I have that in my initial
we don't know
fact
for
number
everyone.
fact page,
Yeah. And
okay?
Now is the treasurer happy?
Okay, everybody happy? Okay. All right, the fifth item. Discuss and take appropriate action to possibly change county policy regarding future overtime compensation for the county. Anybody want to tackle that one?
Well, one thing that we had discussed with the sheriff's office is to go ahead and pay straight time for every hour worked. Currently, if you work over 86 hours, you get comp time at time and a half for over 86. We've discussed this at length, and it seems like everybody's on the same page to go ahead and pay you for every hour that they work. So even if they work 105 hours, you're getting paid for 105 hours. Then every hour over 86, you get the half that makes up the time and a half in comp time. So just to keep the math simple, let's say you work 92 hours one week. You're paid for 92 hours. 6 hours of that is over the 86. So those 6 hours would translate into 3 hours of comp time. The half time goes into comp time. So you're still making time and a half, but the half is comp.
Well, the way I read this, were y'all contemplating, did y'all look at the county as a whole on other departments too? Is that what?
on the payoff, yes.
Well, this is just for the future overtime compensation. That's what got me, and it says for the county,
Yeah, not just sheriff's department.
not just the sheriff's department. Have we worked that out for every other department too?
No, sir, that would be up to the court as far as how you would like to proceed. I did bring a copy of the current overtime policy.
Thank you, Ms. Wellman.
Well, that's the reason I put it on the agenda, because there was talk about changing it, and I said, well, we better take a look at the policy and see what we're doing, change the policy before we say we're gonna change the way we pay overtime, which I guess is in policy.
The only place that's paid overtime right now is dispatch.
So we don't have a policy for the rest of the county.
No.
Well, that is county policy you just received.
The only ones who utilize this is dispatch.
And to clarify, overtime for dispatch is you physically have to work for someone else that is out to be considered overtime. You physically have to work 40 hours or more to get your overtime hours. So say you work 10 hours for someone on overtime, but you've only worked 43 hours that week, you get 3 hours of overtime pay. It's complicated.
Here's what I would like to do. I mean, the sheriff's department, I think, is, you got the pay raise, you got the comp time, you got everything else. I'd like some more time to review and study this for the whole county, since it's the overtime policy for the rest of the county. We may have to make different changes for different departments, like you just said, dispatch for the sheriff's office. Am I right?
You could look at it per department. I would encourage you to also look at the jailers also in that.
We need to spend more time on this to make sure it's right.
You see what I'm talking about? It's, and we want it all kind of to mash together here where everybody knows what they do. You don't have a real big headache over that, just postponing this until we can look at this overtime schedule, do you, Sheriff? I want to keep the sheriff's department happy. I mean, you got you got 98% of everything you wanted on this thing up here. Let's do this right. Let's make sure.
Yeah,
it's
everybody
done
needs
right.
to understand it and be on board with whatever decision he makes, so, yeah.
I would, well,
I think there needs to be more study on this, because we're looking at not just your department, but the entire county employment.
I understand.
okay. Well, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to table item number 5 for further discussion among the court and staff, which would be treasurer, HR, sheriff, anybody that wants to, we can set up a workshop or something. We'll table this until we have a workshop and get our facts together of what we want to do in the future regarding overtime and comp time.
Second.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Cotton, second by Commissioner Wilson to table item number 5 regarding the county policy regarding future overtime compensation for the county
Yeah.
on the thing. So, any further discussion or comment? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Okay, the next one, I'm told, is something that we do every year.
It is.
Is this correct, Ms. Wilbur?
Yes, sir. The reason we put it on this agenda is the treasurer's office has quite a few tasks ahead of them. So anything she can get a jump start on. This was something that would have been ran through on the 29th. But this way she gets the information ahead of time and can get started between longevity, changing salaries in the sheriff's office, and comp payout.
Okay. You shaking your head in agreement?
I need more staff. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That's not on the.
Pay raise today. Okay.
All right, so the next item is consider approved longevity pay to be issued in December of 2022. Do I hear a proper motion?
Yes, I move that we approve the longevity pay to be issued in December 2022 as stated.
I hear second. Second. Okay, a motion made by Commissioner Wilson to approve the longevity pay to be issued in December of 2022, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further comment or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Holy smoke. Okay, good deal. Everybody can have a nice Thanksgiving now. All the agenda items are covered. Meeting adjourned.